We're going to explain how to create webhooks using AWS Lambda and API Gateway. 1. First, we need an AWS account. If you don't have one, sign up for a free tier account. 2. Next, we create an AWS Lambda function. This function will contain the code that executes when a webhook is triggered. We'll write this code in a language like Python or Node.js. This code will receive data from the webhook request, process it, and then perform some action, like updating a database, sending an email, or posting to another service. 3. Now let's create an API Gateway endpoint. This endpoint acts as the public-facing URL for our webhook. It will receive incoming requests and forward them to our Lambda function. We'll configure the API Gateway to use the HTTP POST method. 4. We'll need to configure the integration between API Gateway and our Lambda function. API Gateway needs to know which Lambda function to call when a request arrives. This integration handles routing the request and managing the response. 5. Important security considerations. We'll implement authentication and authorization mechanisms to secure our webhook. This prevents unauthorized access to our Lambda function and ensures only trusted sources can trigger it. This might involve using API keys, AWS IAM roles, or OAuth 2.0. 6. Testing our webhook is crucial. We'll use tools like Postman or curl to send test requests to our API Gateway endpoint. We'll verify that the Lambda function is triggered correctly and processes the data as expected. 7. Finally, we'll monitor the performance of our webhook and the Lambda function. We should track the number of requests, error rates, and execution times. AWS CloudWatch provides these monitoring capabilities. This monitoring helps us identify issues and optimize our webhook for better performance and reliability. Remember that the specifics of the code in your Lambda function will depend on what action you want your webhook to perform. This process ensures that every time a specified event happens on an external service, our AWS Lambda function is automatically triggered to handle the information received through the webhook.